Here's my favorite part of the boat.
This
The
is my
technical
favorite.
rope.
Meet Bob and Jennifer on their Neel 51 Trimaran Kaiju. It's not often you see this big trimaran sailing around, so it was a great opportunity to see why they chose to sail the spacious and fast vessel. You will see it's almost like a floating technical room with a luxury apartment on top. Is this the perfect combination of comfort, speed and practicality? Join us on a full tour to find out.
Welcome to Boatlife is Best. Here you'll find interviews with sailors about their boats and their life on board.
Ranging from family sailing to solo sailing, from absolute beginners to sailing legends, on big yachts and small boats, and from brand new to old school.
If you like boat tours and conversations with sailors, definitely subscribe to the channel.
Great, so we're on this beautiful Neel 50, I think?
Neel 51.
Neel 51, and yeah, tell me about it. It's an amazing boat. I think we don't see them often.
Right, there's not a lot of them around, but it's a trimaran, sailing trimaran built by Neel. They have several models, but this is the 51 model. You have your two outer anasas here, which has a bedroom and storage. Same thing over here, and in the center here, there's another bedroom, bedroom sitting right here. Anchor locker, storage, and that's the front. The interesting part was we loaded up the boat with solar. We have 2,400 amps of solar and 6 lithium-ion batteries to store it all. So when it's sunny, I mean, we can sit on the hook forever, right? And so yeah, that's the front of the boat.
Wow, 2,400 watts is a lot
yeah,
as well.
Lot.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
a lot.
And we have the jib and the Genoa.
Yeah.
Right. And we fly a spinnaker, but we don't have a spinnaker set up. We just lash it up and we go.
Yeah. Do you fly it from one of the boats or?
Yeah,
Yes.
we connect it to the front and to the side.
Yep.
To the port or starboard, and we just adjust it with the ropes.
Yeah, if we move to the back here, there's also like a nice deck space on the side.
Yeah, it's super nice. We spend a ton of time up here.
And this is where you spend probably most of your time while sailing.
Absolutely. And a matter of fact, when we're sailing, someone usually just sits here when everything's set, because you can see all the instruments.
Yeah.
And you sit up here, and kids are laying up here. The dog, that's his favorite spot. he sits up here. Yeah. The boat gets overpowered quickly, so we have to pay attention to the wind, right? Because the main sail is quite large, and the boat's light. It's like 19 tons for a big boat like this. So it'll go, and we just have to. We'll usually adjust the boom to bleed some air off, some wind out, or we'll put a reef in, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
You have all the lines going back as well to the.
Yeah. So you
to where you have the cockpit. Yeah.
Right. So everything goes back to here.
Yep.
And if you're sitting back here, if you're actually driving, you can. I think my wife can either reach the buttons.
Yeah.
But we have an electric winch. We have a manual and 2 electrics. We like them. A lot of sailors are like, "Man, you're a wimp." But
these sails get heavy. This
these
size,
get heavy.
I think. Yeah.
They're so big. It's a 78-foot mast.
Yeah.
I forget what meters that is, but
yeah.
But yeah, it's nice. So we can, it's easy to drive. It's very responsive.
That's cool. And you got one helm position, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
on
one helm.
side. Yeah. Yeah. And the cover is also really nice. So you're out of the sun and out of the.
Yeah,
elements.
we like it. And that's it. Next year we're looking at maybe going with a Starlink system. Right now we have Pepwave here.
Yes.
But yeah, it works pretty well. But Starlink is, I think, the way to go. Future.
For the future,
We'll
yeah.
hook up with that maybe.
Yeah.
One thing nice about a boat like this is there's a lot of storage, and that's what people, a lot of people are like, oh man, storage is a problem. We have 2 garages, one on the starboard and one on the port, and we throw everything down here: pillows, bikes, food, pantry. There's just a lot of stuff, you can. And then underneath, to the rear, to the stern, there's a large cavern where we keep suitcases, and so there's a ton of storage on the boat.
So you have a boat where people can actually bring their suitcase.
Right, you can store them there until the journey's over.
Yeah.
Right. This is the captain, Jennifer.
Hello.
Hello. We'll get to you later.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the
Cockpit.
cockpit. Yeah, cockpit.
Yeah.
It's pretty big. I mean, you have the doors open and you get this continuous flow in this boat, right?
Neel calls it the cockaloon.
Yeah, Neel calls it a cockaloon, right?
The cockaloon.
Yeah.
It's really nice though, with like the very big sliding doors. It's like an open living space.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And then when we have the covers in the even early spring, late fall, we'll put the covers on, and then it still stays open like this, so
Yes.
we can open the. That's really nice.
That's really nice. That's amazing.
Yes, it's a huge amount of space.
Yeah, and you have the dinghy nice sitting on the back as well.
Yeah, it's really nice. We like it. We, you know, the davits on a lot of boats. You know, we had a boat with davits, and the no matter how hard we tried to tie it down, it would always move. And we just like it solid. We just drop it on the
nice.
chocks. We use the boom to pull it up, right?
Yep.
We connect the boom line, the
lift,
topping lift line to the boat, and we just haul it up, drop it on the chocks. Same thing with putting it down.
Yep.
Works out really nice. Hey,
And then, yeah, we go inside. We have this little, we got this extra captain here.
Steve, crew.
Extra crew.
He's the chief of security.
The chief of
amongst
security.
other things.
Obviously, it's our little living room and our galley, which is actually really a good size. Bigger than most apartments.
Definitely bigger than
Really?
most apartments, yeah.
And there's a dishwasher, microwave, oven, you know, a big refrigerator, and then over here is a freezer. So, I mean, we can easily have enough food for a month or 2 months.
Wow.
It's pretty easy. Yeah.
Especially all
so
the fridge space is really nice too.
Yeah, it's really nice. So the only reason usually that we go in for, you know, weekly is for vegetables and fruit, you know, because of course on a boat you can't keep that
Yeah.
very well. So then we have the inside helm. We don't really have a cover for upstairs at the helm because, you know, if the weather is bad, there's no point in staying outside in it. So we can do everything except for mess with the engine or mess with the sails. We can do everything from there. So that's, and when we were sailing in the winter a couple of years ago, that's what we did. We'd set the sails up and we'd come downstairs, close all the doors because it was cold.
Yeah.
And we do everything from here.
You get an amazing view outside from here, like
Yeah, it has a good
Yes.
view.
just
Good.
a
Beautiful windows.
very cool view all around.
And so we have 4 rooms and they each have a head, so 4 bathrooms. So here's the owner's room. It's extremely nice. It's up top.
Yep.
So truthfully, when we do overnighters, everybody just sleeps here and we just hot bunk it. And that way no one has to go downstairs. And so there's a full shower and a toilet, of course, and a sink. And then we have in each hull, we have,
Yeah.
you can go into this
Yeah,
one
can
for
go down
sure.
this one.
They're pretty much the same on both sides. So it's skinnier than a catamaran, but it's the
Yep.
same, you know, same lengthwise. And so they're queen size beds.
And here we have a nice ensuite
Yes.
bathroom and toilet. Cool.
And then we have another room down here, and also a another bathroom that's actually under here to the
Yep.
left when you go down the stairs. But that's what we use for our guests. And then in the front there, we almost never use it as we don't have that many guests usually.
It's like the classic V-berth in a monohull. Yeah.
It's more of a classic V-berth, yeah. And
Yeah.
so it's a decent size, but you know, of course, we just store stuff in there.
Yes.
But we did use it this last spring when we had more people on the boat when we were coming across the Aegean. So, you know, the one thing we were told though is it's really loud because it's in the front and you got the anchor chain there and the anchor lockers right there. So, you know, so now that we know that, we really won't put anybody there unless we have to.
You mostly put the guests in the
Yeah,
side
on the
hulls.
sides, yes.
On the side hulls.
And also up here, people can easily sleep. You can remove the cushions, and it's like a twin size bed, and it's really big, and so you can just as easily sleep up here, which is what they ended up doing, I think.
Yeah,
So,
it's got an amazing space on, like it's totally different deck layout, or inside layout than a catamaran.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, it is. And now the best part, and then we'll let
Yeah.
Bob take this part.
Yeah.
Before we go down, I mean, really, the upstairs bedroom for us, we love it.
Yes.
I don't know how we go back to going downstairs again.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I couldn't.
Yeah, and so that's a big bonus. Also, hey, real quick, I skipped it. Our anchor, really important, right? And so we have this ultra anchor, which we really like, and it served us pretty well,
Yes,
right? We
yeah.
like that anchor, and we got some stainless chain. We had galvanized chain, and we didn't really get the fact that the stainless on the anchor would affect the galvanized, so we started getting rusting. And so we changed it out in Italy a year or 2 ago, and it's been really nice. It's been really good. So, but here's my favorite part of the boat.
This
The
is my
technical
favorite.
What is
room. This is really when we were looking for another boat,
yeah.
and we had a previous cat. I'm tall, and it was always hard for me to fix things. I was always twisting and turning. And I'm getting old, and so I'm like, I gotta get I need a boat where I don't have to turn myself into a pretzel to fix things. So when we saw this, I really liked it. I want to show you. We'll take me downstairs. The hatch.
So we call this the technical room.
Oh wow.
All right. So the
wow.
tech room. On this side's all the water. I have my water maker, the water tank. I've got the HVAC, AC, and heating system. The pump, move the fluid, and all my valves are over here. The water tank is right over here on the port side, 600 liters, and on the starboard side I got the 600 liters of diesel. But over here's all the electronics, right? So they're separate. I got my 6 lithium-ion batteries. They're Victrons. I got 4 gels that the Victrons feed the gels. So these house batteries are always 100%. The lithiums go up and down with the solar and things, but these are always 100%, and this is what really feeds the entire boat, which is kind
All
of
the electrics on the boat are connected to the AGMs.
yeah, to these AGMs. Yeah. And here's my my DC my solar, and I got my 2 inverters. All right, my solar inverter.
Yeah, and you got easily standing headroom in
Yeah,
your
man.
technical room.
So like when I'm changing water maker filters, adjusting these, doing anything with the water maker, standing up, right? So it's really nice. And then back here, if you come down here, I'll show you this. And so we also have a washer dryer on the boat, which is super helpful having all these women on the boat. And then back here we have a 75 horsepower Volvo, 1 engine, right? Because it's a Trimaran. So
That's also, I think, a very big plus that you only have 1 engine to keep up.
Yeah, all the maintenance. And I got all my spare parts, and there's tons of storage back here to right behind me. And this is the autopilot, right? All fly-by-wire, so it's pretty cool. Easy to adjust and fix because I can get to it, right?
Yeah, it's very open. It's like an empty monohull inside
Yeah,
here.
it's awesome, right? If I want to change the oil, change the belts, change the filters, everything's right here. Just bring it out. Do my fixes.
Yeah, very cool. You got a very big alternator on top as well.
Yeah, here's an interesting thing. We don't have a generator on this boat. What we have is something. There's a company in the UK, and they developed this generator replacement technology called Integral.
Mm-hmm.
Integral, it's incorporated. There's some sophisticated software and this large alternator that regulates the RPMs in the boat. So when the boat's under stress or things are moving really well, the software will adjust the prop speed slightly to ensure that the alternator is running at its maximum efficiency. And because the energy that's going to the prop isn't all used, I think the ratio is something like 60% of the energy that the engine produces only goes to the prop. The software bleeds off that excess and routes it through this cabling system into my Victrons. And so if we're going into anchor, if we turn the engines on, then the system begins to charge and we fill up pretty quick. So that's our generator. Now I can run my air conditioning for probably 4 hours just on batteries.
Yeah.
Which is nice if you need it. If it's super, super hot and we're someplace and everybody wants to turn it on for an hour or two, we'll do that.
Just to get the heat out of the boat at night.
Yeah, dry it out a little bit, you know. And so that's what we have back here.
Well, it's amazing. I've never seen this amount of space, like even on the bigger catamarans. It's like crazy amount of space you have inside here.
Yeah, you can go check it out. But anyway.
Yes. So yeah, you already told a little bit about, but like, what made you buy this boat?
I think for us, we were looking for something a little faster, but we needed it bigger, so we could, live on it. Because we were going to live on it. And, we wanted a place where we would feel comfortable. And so that was that. And we wanted speed, yeah. And I wanted the technical room. I wanted to be able to work on the boat without having to twist myself into a pretzel. And so that's
I got sold on the technical room as well.
Yeah, that's kind of what did it for us, right? We looked at a couple other boats, but this one seemed to have what we needed. And so far we've been really lucky.
And it sails like a monohull.
Yeah.
I mean, we sail much more like a monohull, going up and down. We go through the waves. We don't go, we don't bounce off of them. So probably our worst I wouldn't say worst point of sale. Our fastest point of sale is certainly on a beam, like everybody's. But when we get the waves on the side, that is probably the worst feeling point of sale, right? Because we do get the whole catamaran thing where we get knocked a lot. I mean, I guess everybody gets knocked, but for us, you know, it's that's our worst and best. We'll go faster, but if there's wind, you know, so the best, of course,
Not
is
the
no
most
waves.
comfortable one.
Yeah, not the most comfortable, but yeah. But otherwise, it works really beautifully going through the waves, and since all the weight is in the center, you know, we don't have a lot of worry about flipping. You know, we were told that catamarans get like 12% of a heel. We get 25.
Oh wow.
Before we have to worry, and the most we've ever done is 12.
Yeah.
So, and we've been in some pretty nice conditions. So the most we've ever heeled over is about 12, and so, you know, it was uncomfortable. We lost a lot of things that were hanging around. I mean, we kind of have a lot of stuff on the countertops. Most everything is stuck down, but we came across the Aegean just recently. We were getting a lot of, you know, beam waves. And I lost a whole bunch of dishes. And of course, we had people on the boat and they said, no, don't you know better than to lock those down? And I'm like, 3.5 years. Never had a problem. Not once did that ever happen. But this, you know, whatever. It's dishes. It happens. Right. We clean it up.
You learn. Yeah.
You learn.
You
like next time we have that, you know.
And usually when we take off, we put on the floor mostly everything.
The really bad, on the bad conditions,
things,
we put like the big things down so that it doesn't fall. But yeah.
Amazing. And speed-wise, how is it performing?
Really well.
You just had a good experience with
that.
Right?
Again, we were crossing the Aegean and we had, you know, if we're in low winds, we tend to go with the wind. So if we're at 6 knots of wind, we'll go 6 knots. If we are in 15, the ideal is to get up to 10. That's what everybody likes to say that they've done, and we've done that. And so, but I would say that we're 75%. You know, if we're like 10 to 20 knots of wind, we're going to get 75% of where the wind is, and that's where I feel like I've gotten the trim, you know, pretty good. So yeah, it sails relatively fast. So we were easily doing between, our average was about 9 knots. We had a big sail one day with a lot of wind.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and we were doing 9 knots, and we were kind of flying, and we had a lot of people that had never seen this boat before, and it was the first time they saw us sailing, and they were all very excited. You know,
I can't believe, 9 knots is
they're like
nice.
9 knots, and you know, maybe the winds were, you know, 15 to 20 in that range, that sort of thing, and so but they were really, it was great. The sailing it's really fast relatively to a catamaran or even a monohull, but for what we had done before. Yeah. Right. So we're pretty happy about that, and that's why we, you know, there was a lot of reasons why we got this one, but that was a big one. That it sailed faster. The technical room was big. I really liked the doors that opened up. Yeah. You know, so we had a lot of reasons why it was good. So. Yeah.
Cool. And what are your plans? You've already been sailing for 4 years on this boat, and what are your plans after this?
So we're gonna we'll do this in the Mediterranean for a couple more years, and then we'll probably cross over into the Caribbean, and then from there figure it all out. You know, who knows? We don't have any plans to cross the world at this point. I think we've agreed to go through the Panama Canal. That's about as far as we've gotten. But the truth is that, you know, 3 years ago we had no plan either. We didn't even make a plan yet to cross over. And so now that, you know, that's in our, you know, we'll just see how it goes. But, you know, yeah.
And why do you think Boatlife is best? What attracts you to it?
Oh, that's easy.
It's easy.
You know, always being in nature. That's amazing. Always being in the sun, even in the winter. You know, you're always, I think that's really amazing. And the sights, and it's beautiful. And there's a lot of beautiful places out here. But it really helps you to prioritize what's important. You know, food, water, power. These are all very important things, but these are not things we don't think about. We think about them all the time, so we are conserve, and we don't waste food, and we do all these things that everybody really kind of wants to be that way. It's really impossible when you have a grocery store 5 minutes from you. And in the old life, we drove a lot. I drove a lot for sure. He drove a lot. I drove a lot. Constantly driving for everything, constantly. And here, it's walking. You know, you walk, you're like, you make a decision about whether or not you're going to use the big boat or the little boat to get somewhere. And then you're going to walk pretty far. And I just think that lifestyle is much more relaxing.
And you told me a little bit that you're still working.
Yeah.
A little bit. Did you retire partially, or are you
I retired. I was in the military for 20 plus years, retired from the military. And now I just do like IT consulting for a couple companies. which has been really nice, right? So I'm able to continue making money, and you know, not as much as I used to make, but don't really need a lot.
No.
Living like this, really.
Yeah.
Right? It's not something that, you know, we don't have all the expenses that we did have.
Right. Yeah.
And I see a tattoo of the boat as well.
Yeah,
is
it's
it?
my boat.
Yeah.
Kaiju,
Look at that one.
right?
I'll take a shot of it later. Yeah.
Yeah. And
That's cool.
it's our 3-headed dragon, Kaiju.
I have a 3-headed dragon. Sam's got one.
Sam's
too.
got one too.
Oh, y'all got one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but his,
Wow.
you know, we all did it a little different.
We all had a little different, right?
Thank you for showing me around the boat.
Yeah,
and,
good. I'm glad you stopped in.
Yeah, I think it's
fun.
a very special boat, and I think after this, especially seeing the technical room and your positive stories about it, I think they will see a lot more interest as well.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Thank you.
That's great.
See you.
Thank you.